All right, good morning. As I go live, let's take a look at the news right away. Uh-oh, is it not working? I apologize. This is my first time also trying a noise suppressor in OBS. There is tree work going on outside and it is extremely loud. I hope I am not suppressing the sound of my own voice. But it doesn't matter anyway. Again, today, streaming to a massive audience of 0. But I do this for myself. It would be nice to have some people watch. More so to grow a community. Hopefully futures traders, but anyone is welcome. Link is in the description for the Discord. I don't ever plan on selling anything. I want to become a profitable trader. That's it. Let's take a look at the news. I'm going to try to make today quick because this noise it's pretty annoying and I have a million other things to do. So, as we went live, retail sales released. And actually beat expectations by quite a lot. That's what it looks like. I don't know much about it. You have, I would think export and import prices would matter more, but apparently retail sales matters far more. Import prices are up and export prices are up by a very small amount. Let's take a look at retail sales, see what is being said. It might not load because so many people are trying to load it. According to OBS, the noise suppression is working very well. I'll have to check out how my voice sounds later with it. I apologize if you have to turn up your volume. Let me try something. That might do better. Okay. Retail sales data published by the U.S. Census Bureau is a leading indicator that gives important information about consumer spending. So it's how much money people are dishing out. U.S. Census Bureau. So essentially, I don't know if any of this data is true. You have prices rising yet. And I think last week we had, I forgot to take a look at it actually. I should look at it now. We had Michigan consumer sentiment. Let's take a look. Because other data that was coming in saying people aren't spending money. People are holding their purses tight. And then this is telling something else. So can you really trust any of it? Let's take a look at last week. If you don't know, I use fxstreet.com. I don't trade Forex, but their calendar is the best, according to me. Yeah. So I came in way below expectations. But that might be normal for the summer. But then why is the other one up? I don't know. Everything has a political angle these days, and I wish I could trade without looking at any political news. Well, I guess I could. I could futures trade like that and just avoid the stuff on the calendar. But my longer term trading, I couldn't really avoid it. My stock portfolio, I guess I could be 100% technical, but that's pretty hard to do. I don't think I'm autistic enough. Yeah, anyway, people are spending money, it seems, according to that. Let's take a look at what it did to the charts. I don't think it did much at all. Yeah, you had an uptick in volume. Mixed sellers and buyers. Nothing really there. Maybe when the open, 9:30, you might see it happen more there. Let's take a look at the overnight now for the indices and gold and oil. Then I'll take a look at tomorrow. Tomorrow's the biggest day of the year for traders. And I have to work. I'll be presenting in the morning, but I won't be able to trade the day, which I usually don't trade FOMC. I would have liked to observe it though, but I have a job to do after I present in the morning to my audience of me. All right, in ES, what we had overnight, just melting up in anticipation of a rate cut. So much so that I'm actually a little scared that tomorrow we'll see a giant correction in the markets. So I'm conflicted right now. I have multiple ETF positions in the longer term. And I just remembered something about them, but that's for me to worry about. And the only time they ever really get crazy is when FOMC comes. I think the last time I benefited from it, but I could easily, the opposite could happen. And I could erase weeks of profits in an instant. It's kind of scary for me, but I don't know. So I'm mixed on whether I flatten my positions for FOMC, then buy back in on Thursday no matter what the price, or I only buy back in if price goes back to the level which I sold. I don't know. I'm conflicted right now. But that's what trading is. What I will probably do is do nothing and just cross my fingers. But it's on my list of things to do later today is review all that. Anyway, the last 2 nights, the ES has just been melting up. Not so much yesterday during regular trading hours, as you can see here. But we had the overnight halt for a bit at opening range high, which that is Monday's opening range high, which I have set for 10 a.m. Eventually broke through, barely bat an eye at the close, yesterday's close and yesterday's high, and just continued to melt upward until I would say stopping in a random area. I don't follow Fibonacci, but I'm sure somebody that does would say that's not a random area. And we've been melting down since. All right, NQ. Very similar picture. The main difference is, I don't know how I didn't notice this yesterday. I was very focused on gold yesterday. Specifically losing a lot of money in gold yesterday. I'm embarrassed to say I wiped out more profits. But time has taught me to not get emotional. Anyway, the NQ seemed to rise quite a bit yesterday during normal trading hours. But its overnight was muted. Previous overnight, meaning Sunday night. So I guess they kind of balance out against each other. But last night we had price halted for a little bit at yesterday's close, already being completely over the opening range high. Eventually broke through both, and same thing. Just been floating upwards until around 4 a.m. I noticed that previous nights as well, around 4 a.m., that is a significant time, usually for price. If we look at previous nights, you can kind of see it here around 4 a.m. We have a sharp increase in volume and decrease in price. Definitely seen that before in the overnight. I keep meaning to look up exactly what that could be. Could be as simple as the Asia markets closing. But no, they're not closed yet. They don't close until... Oh, there it is again. I don't know if you can hear it, but sounds like someone is running a chipper shredder right outside my window. But that's fine. People gotta work. Anyway, let's move on. The Russell. The overnight for the Russell. Oh, before I forget it, if you didn't catch it, contracts rolled over yesterday for the equities, for the ES, the NQ, the Russell, and the Dow. And I think a couple others, but I don't really follow them. I'm sure other equity markets rolled over. But the Russell not as positive in the overnight. And same as yesterday. Meaning, I mean, yesterday, normal trading hours was mixed, very mixed. Which is kind of strange given that the Russell will benefit the most from a rate cut. But it might be priced in already. Again, that plays into my fears that tomorrow, no matter what happens, well, not no matter what happens, if tomorrow is normal and the Fed just cuts a quarter point or doesn't cut, I think both can cause the market to crash a little. A correction, I guess, would be the right term. A crash would have to be more significant. The only thing, this is just my gut feeling. The only thing I think that would cause the market to rise would be a half a basis point or more. I don't see them cutting more than that. We'll see. We shall see. I'll take a look later then at FedWatch on CME. But the Russell did try to rise a little bit, stopping at, that would be yesterday's high. Just short of it, stopped just short of it. and then came the bounce off of yesterday's normal trading hours open. All right, the Dow. Even more mixed than the Russell, I think. Not too bad, though. Did not come anywhere close to yesterday's high like the Russell did. Halting a little bit around yesterday's close, but could not remain above it. And it looks like it could not remain above yesterday's open either. All right, let's take a look at gold. I don't want to talk about it. Gold, so I didn't lose a lot here. I almost lost a lot. But it was yesterday during the day, normal trading hours, I lost quite a bit. Being stubborn and thinking I knew better. I figured because the other markets were rising that gold should be falling, that money should be leaving gold. Perhaps this is another reason why my gut does not see tomorrow being overwhelmingly positive for the markets, for the S&P and the NASDAQ. I know I don't think you guys can hear this, but, well, there's nobody watching. I don't think the internet can hear this right now, but it is extremely annoying. Hard to pay attention. Anyway, what was I getting at? Oh, the fact that gold just keeps melting higher and higher, especially yesterday. If you look at the daily chart here. Yesterday, gold just dominated. I figured we would see this like channel here. I figured we would halt around here. And then when we didn't, I mean, strength, relative strength was going down as price kept going up. It was actually very strange. I moved my stop again and eventually just had to take the loss. I think I lost like $400. No, not that much. I have to record the trades later. Which, when I have a loser, I put it off. Anyway, again in the overnight, gold just keeps melting higher. Initially rejected yesterday's high. Came back down to build more support. And came back to break through it. Again, showing it seems to be bouncing off of it right now. That wouldn't be a bad trade right now. But I sort of made a promise to myself not to trade gold. I have more luck with oil than I do gold. I think the biggest mistake I make is trying to come up with my own theories on what it's going to do based on macro theories. And also this had me fooled here, the MACD on oh, I forgot to switch over to 5-minute. Anyway, the MACD has been melting down since last week. But price continues to rise. It's kind of crazy. And volume is not really that crazy either. Maybe I'm wrong. Maybe tomorrow we'll see a huge drop in gold and a rise in the equities. I don't know. All right, let's check out oil or in the overnight. I'll look more at the daily charts when I look at today's key areas. Oil in the overnight. I've often brought up this level of 63 being important. $63. Whatever, it's points in futures. Price always seems to come back to that area. It acts as a magnet. I know this looks like a mess right here. That's because I have the indicator, the heck is it called? It's a long name that's volume support resistance zones version 2. It's great indicator. But it plots resistance and support zones automatically. I plan to look into how it does that because I want to know, to build my own indicators maybe, or to refine it. There's settings on that indicator are great, but as you can see in other charts, it's barely registering support and resistance. There is some here, and I only pay heed to them as confirmation. Like right here, I would use it as confirmation as a pivot point. Not a pivot point, but a key level. I call them trigger. I call them key levels, but I've in the past I've called them trigger lines, because they should trigger a trade or an alarm to make a trade. Anyway, this area is huge. Acts as a magnet since early August. It has. Price will rise and come back to it, rise and come back to it. And right now, this wouldn't be a terrible trade. I'm not advocating for anything. What the heck are these lines? I gotta fix that. So yesterday I came back to TradingView. I don't know what happened. I don't know if I did it or something else caused it, but all my indicators were screwed up. This shouldn't be here. But last time we've been near previous month's close. Now I'm getting ahead of myself. I should just be looking at the overnight. I'll speculate on oil a little bit later. Anyway, overnight mixed until around 5:30. Didn't seem to really bounce off of anything besides that's 50 SMA. It did bounce off that before a little bit. And since that time, it's been rising. Again, I'll talk about oil later, what I might plan on doing. Again, it's a shame I don't have so much time to trade today. I yearn for the days when I can trade full time. I mean, I'll always have other things to do, but I can't wait till I can turn down jobs. 100%. All right. Let's take a quick look at news coming up. Obviously tomorrow, FOMC, 2 p.m. I don't usually trade the FOMC days. Some people do. The last time I did trade it, it was only fate that saved me from losing a couple $1,000s. I don't think I've ever been more stressed out in my life. So, but if you're gonna learn trading, you gotta get that out. You gotta expel those demons, I guess. I'll take a look at, yeah, let's take a look now at the Fed rate. I think it went down a little from yesterday. I might add this to, I don't know. I have so many things I record every morning. At this point, sometimes I spend more time recording stuff that I mean to use for research and I never do. Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. There's not enough time in the world to do all the things you want to do. But I think yesterday this was higher, strangely enough. Or maybe this. No, I think it was above 96. You know what? It might have lowered. And yeah, okay. So it did. The chance of a half a point decrease in the rate rose by a little bit. I don't know. It would be an insane surprise if the Fed cut by a half a point. And I have no opinion on what they should do. For next month's meeting, I think that's next month. Do they meet next month, or is this just another contract? No, they do. Again, pricing in another quarter point. Right? Yeah. The chance of them not cutting in October is actually pretty high. And then for December, yeah, I think this rose a little. I wonder if there's a way to look at this. I don't know if you can hear it because I think the noise cancellation is working pretty good, but they're cutting down the whole forest outside. Once this is over, I'm gonna go, I have some baking to do, and then I'm gonna go work in the garage. I can make my own noise. All right, what else? Thursday. Initial jobless claims on Thursday at 8:30 a.m. And then Friday we have not much except for oil rig count. All right, let's take a look at the key areas today. I'm going to get through it quick. My heart's not in it today. I would put on noise canceling headphones, but I'd have to put in my contact lenses because the headphones hurt my ears with the glasses. All right. Yes. If we head higher, I'd say we bounce off this area. I don't know if we're going to do that before the open. We're probably going to float above it before the open. And we'll see. If we head higher, the only thing we got stopping us right now is the high, the overnight high above us at 66.97. Beyond that, there is a pivot point up at 67.59. I don't know if we'll get there today. I really don't think we will. If we head lower, we have not much until we get to, so here you have yesterday's opening range low and yesterday's open, but that's also Friday's high. So this area could hold us up a bit if we move lower. And then beyond that is the pivot point and then yesterday's low, which I don't see us getting below there today. So I'd say likely that we're gonna melt upwards today, kind of slowly. I don't see a whole lot of volatility just because people are waiting for tomorrow. There might be some precursors to what's going to happen tomorrow. You might have some savvy fund managers pulling money out early or putting money in early. I don't know. I don't know enough about it. I would love to learn more, which is the whole point of building this community. I need more peers who know more than me. Right now, how I put my family to sleep is talking about the market. Their eyes gloss over immediately. All right, NQ. We are not trending as low as we are in the NQ as we are in the ES. You know what I mean. Geez, it sounds like they're right outside my window. It's the way my house is. It bounces right off my house and sounds like it's coming from my yard, but it's not. Anyway, if we head higher, the only thing we got is the overnight high at 24,646. Again, anytime I give these numbers, the general areas, if you want to know the exact, it's pretty easy to look that up. Above that, we don't have much until we get to the R2 pivot area, which I don't see that happening. If we head lower, we have yesterday's high and close in 24,554 area. Beyond that, I don't see the opening range, yesterday's opening range high, doing much. But yesterday's opening range low and yesterday's regular trading hours open, as well as that's pretty close to Friday's high. That could slow us down a bit. All right, Russell. For the Russell, if we head higher, we have yesterday's high that we have yet to pass. That could hold us up. And beyond that, we have the current month high, which was made on, when was that made? Last week, last Thursday. Right now, we're heading lower. We just passed through yesterday's close. Picking up volume from somewhere. According to this, the strength's not really there. I could see that retracing. If we head lower, we have previous month's high, yesterday's low, and a huge support area here. You can see it better on the daily. This kind of support area that was built up. That'd be a great place for a long. It seems like a lot of work was put in to get us above that level. Yesterday and the day before on Friday, sellers were fought back at that level. I don't see it being an easy fight for them at it again. I wouldn't go a long-term trade. Maybe I would. I might do half contracts longer term. I'd probably cover half at the once it returns to this general area here, which would be around here, and then move my stop to break even on the other contracts, because there's a good possibility that they could break through again. I don't subscribe to any of those like 3-time rules. Like if it comes back to hit it a third time, then I don't know. I haven't seen a whole lot of evidence of that. Nothing is ever concrete. Obviously, if it comes down here and it just wants to pass right through, or you just see the strength tank and the volume go down or up in sellers, the signs are clear that we're going to get through it, and the price action as well, then I wouldn't take that trade. But that's too many caveats already. Alright, the Dow. Ooh, the Dow is taking a big hit right now. If it turns around and heads higher, which is likely to happen at previous month's high, look out for yesterday's close. Beyond that, we have yesterday's high at 46,350. Same thing as the Russell. The Dow did try real hard breaking through that level. And Friday and Monday stayed above it. Just barely. So I don't see us breaking below it again. That easy, anyway. As you can see yesterday during the day, price did break below, but it came right back. That would have been an excellent trade had I seen it. Ooh, I didn't show you that. Hold on. Yeah, right here. That would have been an excellent trade. Alright, gold. I'm staying away from gold. Trade it if you are feeling lucky. Right now, we're holding up on yesterday's high. The strength doesn't seem to be there to repel it. Yeah. Last time we were here, strength was much higher. That's how I read relative strength index. I'm always open to learning to see how other people read it. But that is where I've seen divergences. If we head lower, keep heading lower. We have yesterday's close to get through, which price really disrespected in the overnight. If we bounce off of yesterday's high and continue higher, we have the overnight high at 37.37. And then beyond that, it's wide open. Alright, oil. If we head lower, I look for a slight hold up around yesterday's high. Not so much around yesterday's close, as it seems the overnight didn't really stop there for a little bit, but it broke right through. Well, no, it didn't. It held up for a while. I don't know. I say those words 100 times a day. I don't know. Below that, we have yesterday's low at 62.52. But again, that magnet. This area always acts as a magnet. And the last couple times we hit previous month's close here, it's rejected that area and come back to around 62. I'm sorry, 63, not 62. if we do head higher from there, I don't know. It does not seem likely. I should place that trade. I am going to place that trade. Not right now on the stream because you see my brokerage information. Oh, maybe not. Two micros is good enough. The heck's all that noise? I'm gonna place my stop not that far above. And 63.10, just give it a little room. Now I should ignore it and go do other stuff, but we'll see. All right, that's all I got for today. And just as I finish, the chainsaws are done outside. Nobody watched today, that's fine. I really need to do more to promote it and get some people in. But already, this has improved my trading a lot. I need to streamline it a bit more. I need to work more nights too. Can't work every night. That would drive a person insane. But happy trading. I will be back tomorrow morning. I have nothing of value to say about FOMC except watch yourselves.